So I'm here with Luci Sanan, who's head of Cowshed Ventures, part of the overall Cowshed group. How are you doing, Lucy?
Hi Justin, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. This is all right, isn't it? It's up by the
Not
beach.
too bad.
Yeah. And so you've got a new news story, Cowshed, and we'll talk about Cowshed in a little bit more detail. But first of all, let's get to the news that you've just announced. So tell us about this new deal that you've struck.
Yeah, so we're really excited. Struck a deal with Propagate out of LA to set up a joint venture of a new YouTube channel called Survive Plus, which is going to be the new home for must-see adventure content with Bear Grylls, Jack Randall, and lots of content that you know and original content as well.
Wow. Okay. And so there's obviously a huge catalogue there from Bear Grylls, obviously, which is well known all over the world. I mean, tell us about some original content you might be producing as well.
So I think it's an interesting model because it brings the digital first production expertise of Cowshed together with the known and loved names like Bear Grylls of must-see adventure content. And we've managed to tap into some really authentic original creators like Jack Randall, who's a zoologist who goes around the world discovering new wonderful creatures and places to bring to his audience in a really engaging way. So we're doing some original content with Jack, the bear content, must-see series like the Survivor lists, and hopefully touch towards some new great adventure content going forward.
Well, this is kind of indicative of this move from the traditional media industry into creator world, but also digital first studios, and it's all starting to sort of meld and mash up together, and some interesting models. So, where did this relationship start? Was it something that Propagate approached Cowshed, or just give us an idea of where it?
That's an interesting question. I think that. Working with Cowshed, I have lots of conversations with people from the traditional broadcast world about how to work in digital and how to collaborate in that digital space. And we're really open to collaboration. So Dan and I, Dan at Propagate and myself, were talking about, is there a way to look at the content that Propagate distributes and the great relationships they have with the big American broadcast series and bring that together with Cowshed's digital expertise. And we said, why don't we set up a channel together? Why don't we look at the great catalogue content that Propagate have got and third party that we can go after and combine that with some digital expertise and not just the production expertise on the Cowshed side, but the publication expertise, the ability to reach audiences, not just on YouTube, long form, but also across all social, and optimize that and use our brand expertise to bring in brand sponsorships and hopefully make the stars align and create a must-see audience and must-see location for audience wherever they are across social, YouTube, and you can go and watch it on linear as well.
All right, so it's not purely YouTube. It's like multi-channel, it's multi-platform.
Yeah, I think it's always important to try and reach the audience where they are. And YouTube's incredible. That's the number one starting point that we're starting with, but we're also launching across all social channels. And yes, I think that depending, there are rights restrictions on some of this content because it's Bear Grylls, so of course you'd expect that, but where we can, we'll be exploiting it, cut downs, must-see moments across social, and the Jack content as well. And Jack's always off to, whenever I hear from him, he's always in Indonesia or he's going to Namibia or Australia with his camera, and we know that he's going to come back with some good stuff. So excited about that as well.
Yeah, and so the Bear Grylls content, has that ever been published on YouTube before, or is it
There is some exposure on YouTube, but I really don't think that matters. I think we live in an amazing new digital economy where the more you're published and the more places you're published, then the more incremental your views are going to be.
Yeah.
So we're going to be working to cross-promote new Bear series, and it shouldn't, often you hear broadcasters or people coming from the traditional broadcast space worrying about cannibalization of content, and I don't think that's a thing. I think that was a thing back in the exclusive world of linear, where it was very much, those are my rights for the next 10 years and everybody else can go away. Yeah. It's more about, well, my audience is in lots of different places, and you see a rise of linear transmissions, of linear viewership when things appear on YouTube. There's lots of case studies to support that now. So hopefully we'll be able to work together to promote the new series as well as the existing content that we're publishing across digital and social, and get more viewers engaged in the content all in all.
And this really sort of underlines the power of a channel brand, doesn't it, really, and the importance of a channel brand. It's interesting what you're saying about non-exclusivity. It seems to be the last 2 years there's been a big shift in that, and we're starting to see a lot of distribution companies, even digital distribution companies, actually licensing content to each other.
Yeah.
So that's a completely different way of approaching things than was 5 years ago.
It is, but it's super exciting. I mean, you still have conversations, mainly, I have to say, with the bigger studios who are like, no, they're our rights. We're going to put them on our channels. Thank you very much. But more and more, you're seeing an openness to like, why not? Like, what is there to lose? I understand you might want to keep some exclusivity for your broadcast window. Great. Let's look at it in 6 months. Let's look at it in a year. And look what happens. And okay, you're not going to get an upfront massive license fee like you might with a linear channel, but those are few and far between now as well. So why don't you look at what rights you've got and look at, are you fully exploiting them across all channels? Like, what can you do? And I think it's just a different mindset. But the people that have really given it a go, sometimes the proof's in the pudding, right? And you look at your royalty statements and you think, well, why didn't I do it earlier? So I think people might as well just give it a shot.
Absolutely. And we've seen some examples of actually shows, even formats that have actually become surprise hits in various territories around the world that have actually been then rebooted as a linear show as well.
Yeah.
So there's,
see more and more of that, and more things moving from digital or social to linear. And I think it's great.
Yeah. And so for those who don't know about Cowshed, I mean, we cover them a lot in the drop, obviously, but for those who aren't aware of Cowshed and the overall business, because you run the ventures side of the business.
I do,
but tell us about the other parts of Cowshed.
Yeah, Cowshed are quite an exciting business that have been around since 2019, set up by two buddies called George and Ryan. I think they're becoming more and more familiar faces in the broadcast-facing industry as well as the digital routes. And they started in social, started producing content for a lot of brands. That's when I met them. I was working in the media agency side at the time, and they were the cool guys making loads of content for brands. And became friends, started consulting for them, and now on a long-term consultancy basis I'm running the Ventures division, which is part of the overall group. So there's Cowshed Studios that produce a lot of original content for social, for brands, very well known for producing a lot of original formats for the Foot Asylum brand channel, 2.9 million subscribers, so it's quite well known. They produce the first 3 seasons of Inside, first on YouTube and then for Sidemen on Netflix. They produce shows for 4.0, produce for brands like Jet2, Boohoo Man, Bacardi, McDonald's, so lots of brand clients. They have a creator division, Cowshed Creators, that have quite a lot of interesting entertainment first talent, which we hope to be working with on the channel and on other channels that we're launching. They do their own post. They do everything sort of end to end, and it's really exciting to be in that digital space where so much is happening.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, Lucy, thanks for joining us. Great
Thanks
to
very
see
much.
you.
Thanks for your time, and you.
And it's good to hear a Leeds accent on the Croisette. One question for you before you go.
Yeah.
Are we going to stay up?
Absolutely, definitely staying up. If we carry on playing like we have, then no doubt about it, we were the better team against Spurs. So watch out, Burnley on Saturday.
That's exactly right. I saw Danny Fenton the other day, and he surprisingly had a different view of that game. But anyway, Lucy, thanks for joining us. Enjoy MIPCOM. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Justin. Take care.